Hey guys, this is Abhishek from gadgetsnews.com, and today we are going to do a detailed comparison of these two devices. We have the Nokia X with us, which is a recent device from Nokia. It is the first Android phone from Nokia, and we have the Motorola Moto E over here, which is the recently launched device, and it is a newer device, I would say. And both of these devices, as far as the comparison is concerned, both of them almost come in the same price segment, whereas the Motorola Moto E is available on Flipkart only as of now. And again, the stocks are not there, but you can buy it from Flipkart in some days. This device is available for a price of 7,000 rupees, whereas this device, the Nokia X, is available for little above than 7,000 rupees. And in this review, in this comparison review, we are going to tell you all the differences which you have in between these two. What all good things you have on the Nokia X we will highlight, what all bad things you have on Nokia X, and the same we will do for the Motorola Moto E as well. So we will compare both of these phones very closely in terms of specs, in terms of overall performance, the battery backup they give you, the kind of camera they have, the overall build quality they have, and the other form factors like other things like gaming benchmarks as well. So let's start the comparison. Now, talking about the overall form factor of these two devices, both of these devices are kind of candy bar phone. You can easily hold a Nokia X in your hand without any issues, and you can use this phone with one hand without any problem. As far as the display size of the Nokia X is concerned, the Nokia X has a display size of 4-inch, whereas the Moto E has a display size of 4.3 inch. And again, I would say one thing is that you can easily notice the display is actually of better quality and has better viewing angles on the Motorola Moto E. And let me just increase the brightness of this display so that you can have a better idea. So this is how the overall brightness of the display will look like. And as you can see the display without any issues. You can see the display from extreme angles without much of a problem. Whereas on the Nokia X, we do have an IPS LCD display on this device as well, but the viewing angles are not that great as compared to the Motorola Moto E. So in display department, I would say the Motorola Moto E has a much better display with better color production, I would say, as compared to the Nokia X. Although Nokia X is not that bad, but still I actually like the display of Motorola Moto E in terms of viewing angles, in terms of the color production as compared to Nokia X. As far as the weight of these two devices are concerned, so talking about the weight, the Nokia X is around 128 gram, whereas the Motorola Moto E is slightly heavier, which is approximately 142 gram. So in terms of the weight, this is slightly heavier, but again it does feel solid in your hand, just like this one. The kind of build quality and the material which has been used on both of these phones is pretty good. However, we see plastic over here on this device, and again the back cover can be removed, and the same can be said for this one as well. We have plastic and back cover can be removed on the Motorola Moto E. Again, both of these devices are pretty good in terms of the build quality, although they have plastic, but very good quality of plastic has been used. And again, both of them can actually survive a drop from the waist height or from the shoulder height. So in terms of the build quality, both of them are pretty good. The material which has been used are good on both of these phones. On the side, we can see that we have the volume rocker on these two phones over here on the Nokia X and over here on the Motorola Moto E. This one is finished in chrome, looking better. And you have the power and sleep key over here, the power and sleep key over here. This is again finished in chrome, looking better. And at the top, we can see that there is a headphone jack over here. We do have a headphone jack over here on this device. We also have a secondary mic for noise cancellation on the Moto E, whereas we are not able to locate a secondary mic on the Nokia X. I'm not sure whether this device actually has noise cancellation secondary microphone or not. But again, when it comes to this side, or we can say this side we have nothing on both of these phones. And at the bottom, we can see the port over here for micro USB port, which can be used for data syncing and charging. So this is all about the charging port. When it comes to the data cable, or whatever the data cable you can actually use, you can use same kind of data cable on both of these phones. So talking about the display resolution, the display resolution which we have on the Nokia X is 480x800, whereas the display resolution which we have on the Moto E is 540x960, which is a QHD resolution, which is higher than this one. Even when this display is slightly higher in terms of the size, it is 4.3 inch, whereas this one is 4 inch. Both of them are kind of very similar in terms of the display size. There is a very negligible amount of difference in terms of the display screen, but you can notice it once you hold these devices side by side. So taking a look over the display density, the pixel density which we get, on the Nokia X is around 233 pixels per inch, whereas on this device you get a pixel density of around 256 pixels per inch, which is better. And again, the text and the crispness of this display is slightly better as compared to the Nokia X. That is something I can say as of now. Again, the display on this device also looks good. The kind of display technology or the kind of display glass you have on this device, it does have a Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection as well, whereas you do not get the Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection on the Nokia X. So which does make a difference, because this display is again very much fragile, I would say. Again, we have done a drop test with Nokia X as well, and it has survived most of the drop test, even from the waist height or from the shoulder height. So in that department it is strong enough. But again, the display is kind of fingerprint catchy, as you can see, and the smudges can be easily seen on this display. However, we have a Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection on this device, and the display technology is such like that you will not notice the smudges and fingerprints very easily on this device. So this is not a fingerprint catchy display. That is something we can confirm. So in terms of the display technology, the kind of resolution you have, the kind of color protection you have, as well as the kind of protection you have, this device is slightly better than Nokia X. Talking about other things for the device, let's talk about the memory. The inbuilt memory on both of these two devices is 4 GB. So again, 4 GB of inbuilt memory is there on this one, and you have the 4 GB of inbuilt memory on this one as well. And let me show you how much of that is actually available on this device. On the Motorola Moto E, you get inbuilt storage free available to the user, which is approximately 2.21 GB, which is over here. As you can see, you get 2.21 GB on Moto E, whereas on this device, let me just show you the same. So over here, if we go in the storage section, under storage section we can see that the total amount of storage which is available to the user is around 1.29 GB plus 1.17, which is approximately 2.3 GB, which is slightly higher on this device. Again, on this device you do not have the option of installing applications on the SD card, whereas on this device you can actually do that. Okay, you cannot install applications on the SD card on Motorola Moto E, but you can move applications from the phone memory to the SD card. This device is running the latest version of Android, which is Android KitKat, whereas on Nokia X we do not get the latest version of Android. And let me just show you the same. On this device the version of Android is different, and it is 4. Let me just show you the version of Android, and for this we need to go into. So on Nokia X you get Android 4.1.2, which is Jelly Bean, whereas you have KitKat on Motorola Moto E. So in most of the departments, I would say the Motorola Moto E is actually leading as compared to Nokia X. In terms of display, it is slightly better. In terms of the display resolution, it is higher. The kind of viewing angles you have on this device is again better. The camera, when we talk about the camera, let's talk about the camera. The camera on this device on the Motorola Moto E is 5 megapixel, whereas you have a 3.15 megapixel camera on Nokia X. Again, the overall picture clarity is almost the same on both of these devices when it comes to the camera. So the camera performance of Nokia X as well as the Motorola Moto E is almost the same, and I can show you the same as of now. So as you can see, I have my iPhone over here, and I will take a photo from both of these devices as of now. I've taken this one from the Moto E, and let me just take the photo from Nokia X now. So I have taken both of the photos, and I would say the camera was slightly faster on Motorola Moto E as compared to the Nokia X, which I have just seen. So in terms of the overall color production, I would say both of these cameras are kind of average. You cannot expect much amount of details from Motorola Moto E camera. As far as the rear camera is concerned, the rear 5 megapixel camera is a fixed focus camera on Moto E, whereas on the Nokia X you have a slightly better color production, I would say, as compared to this one. The colors are looking much better on this one and kind of natural if I compare with the original object over there on the Nokia X in terms of the camera quality. But again, the kind of details you get on this device and the kind of details you get on this device is again poor. Both of them will not give you good amount of details because it is again a fixed focus camera. So this is how the overall picture clarity or the photo clarity will look like when you take a photo from the cameras on these two devices. Even when you have a 5 megapixel camera on Moto E, the kind of image you get is pretty okay, but again the color production is not that great. The color production is slightly better on this one, whereas I would say the image which I have just got on Moto E is slightly oversaturated in terms of the overall colors. One more thing which is similar to both of these cameras is that both of them cannot record high definition video. This one can record a video at lower resolution, and even when this one can actually record video at slightly higher resolution, that is 480p. So this is the difference as far as the camera is concerned. Again, in this camera department, I would say both of these devices are kind of equal to each other. Not much difference is there in terms of the camera quality when it comes to the photos, or even when it comes to the videos. So this is the difference when we have in terms of the camera. The storage which we get on these two devices, again, almost the same. The version of Android is latest on this device, which is Android 4.4 KitKat, whereas on this one it is running the Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean, which is slightly older, almost actually very older as compared to the 4.4 KitKat. Even we have 4.3 out, and still this device does not have that. When it comes to the processor, both of them has a dual core 1.2 GHz processor. The processor which we have on the Nokia X is based on Cortex A5 architecture, whereas the processor which we have on this device is 1.2 GHz dual core processor, but it is based on Cortex A7 architecture. So this one is slightly better, I would say, but again, in the overall performance, both of these devices are pretty good. But the kind of interface you have on the Nokia X, it is a kind of interface which is not very fast, and you can see the lag in the interface. Once you run multiple applications in the background, you can easily notice the lag in the UI, whereas you may not notice that lag on the Motorola Moto E, because this device is slightly faster. And I tell you the reason. The reason is that the RAM on this device is much lesser as compared to this one. The RAM which we have on the Nokia X is 512 MB of RAM, which is almost half of the RAM of the Moto E, which is the difference. So Moto E has 1 GB of RAM, whereas this device has 512 MB of RAM. And the kind of interface you have on Nokia X, this is a very laggy interface, I would say, as compared to the Motorola Moto E, which is running on stock Android, kind of snappy almost in every way. We have tried running multiple applications in the background on Motorola Moto E, and I did not notice any major lag in the UI, whereas on this device you run like 4 to 3 applications and you run some game in the background as well, and if you leave it open, then you will notice good amount of lag on the Nokia X. So in this department as well, the Moto E actually leads and it wins, I would say. When it comes to the resolution at which the video can be recorded, the video can be recorded at 480p on both of these devices, and that is something I can correct. As far as the processor is concerned, the processor which we have on the Motorola Moto E, it is a Snapdragon 200 chipset, whereas on this device we have another Snapdragon processor which is 8225, and it is Snapdragon S4 Play processor. When it comes to the GPU is slightly better on this one as well. This one has a GPU of Adreno 305, which is there on this device, and on this device we have Adreno 203 GPU, which is an older generation of GPU. Again, the overall gaming performance of the Moto E is again better than Nokia X. So in major department till now, Moto E is much better. Even in terms of the price, it is less in terms of the price as compared to the Nokia X, which is there in the market already. So that is the difference as far as all these things are concerned. When we talk about the sensors, both of these devices have accelerometer sensor, proximity sensor, and the gyro sensor. Both of them does not have a magnetic field sensor, but they can be used for GPS navigation without any issues. Both of these devices can be used for GPS navigation. You also get FM radio on both of these devices. Let's compare the benchmark scores which we have on both of these devices, so that you can see what is the overall difference when it comes to the benchmark, when we have the scores on both of them. So talking about the benchmark performance, I would say the benchmark figures are much better on the Motorola Moto E as compared to the Nokia X. If we talk about in detail, I can show you the benchmark scores which we have got on the Moto E. And now talking about the benchmark performance of these two devices, I would say the benchmark figures are always better on the Moto E in most of the application. When it comes to N2, we got a benchmark score of approximately 12,000 something on the Moto E, whereas we got around 8,000 to 7,000 on the Nokia X. When it comes to Ninamark, we have got a score of 49.8 FPS, or you can say approximately 50 FPS we got on the Moto E as compared to the Nokia X, on which we get around 33 FPS, which is again a very low score. When it comes to Quadrant, we got a score of approximately 4,000 on the Moto E, whereas we have 4,000, near to 5,000 basically on Moto E, whereas we have got a score of approximately 2,000 to 2,500 approximately on the Nokia X. So in terms of benchmark, this device is again leading the benchmarks as well. In all, overall, I would say this device is much better. Build quality is almost good on both of these phones, but there are some good points of the Moto E which actually leaves the Nokia X behind. And again, in that scenario, Nokia X may not be that good deal as a Moto E might be. And let me just list some of the strong points of the Motorola Moto E. Some of the strong points of Motorola Moto E is 1 GB of RAM. You also get a faster Android, a pure Android experience on this device. You have latest version of Android which is there on this device. When it comes to the camera is something I would say is a tie for both of these devices. The battery on this device is again higher. You have a slightly higher battery on Motorola Moto E as compared to the Nokia X. When it comes to some other things, when we talk about the overall build quality, the build quality is again a tie. The build quality is good on both of these phones. Nokia X is again a pretty handy phone, and Moto E is also a pretty handy phone, although the Moto E is slightly bigger in terms of the size as compared to the Nokia X, in case size does matter for you or not. But again, it does have a very good back cover which can be removed. It is a dual SIM phone. This one is also a dual SIM phone, and back cover can be removed from both of these phones. The battery can also come out. When it comes to the camera is 5 megapixel, but again it is not that great. So most of the major points of the of the Moto E over the Nokia X, which actually makes it better, is going to be the display. The display is better. The display has better color production. The Android version is also better. You also have a better battery on this device. You also have the overall experience of this device is going to be much better as compared to the Nokia X, whereas the Nokia X UI is something which I don't like. It is the kind of UI which will lag very often in case you are running multiple applications in the background, whereas the Motorola Moto E will give you a much better performance in this particular price segment. So I would say the Motorola Moto E is a clear winner. But before I conclude this video, I would like to tell you one of the good things about some of the good things about the Nokia X is that it has a very good build quality. It is a very good phone as well. The display may not be that great, but again, for the price you pay for this particular phone, you have all the applications or the very different UI. In case you love this UI, you can always go for the Nokia X. But as of now, I would like to say, in the current comparison, the Moto E seems to be a better choice, but there are some good things about the Nokia X as well, and that is on the software. So you get Nokia Hair Maps on the Nokia X, which is again free maps, and you can use those maps in the offline mode as well, even on this device without internet connectivity. You have Google Maps on this device, which are again pretty good as well. You can also use them in the offline way, but the Nokia maps are slightly better than the Google Maps as per my experience, which I have seen. So this is something which is there. Apart from this, you also have this different kind of a UI which is called Fastlane, which actually lists all the recent applications which you are running on the device, so you will get to see that. But in all, saying all this, I would like to say that the overall comparison is something which makes the Moto E winner in terms of the display, in terms of the overall performance. In terms of camera, it is not a winner, I would say. In terms of battery, it is. In terms of the overall value for money, Motorola Moto E seems to be a better value for money as compared to Nokia X. That is something I can say. So that's all from us. Do let me know if you have any specific questions for these two devices. I would love to help you. You can like this video. This video help you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.